Hello to you and you and you and you and you. Hello, everyone. It's Marie from long lost Marie's Scrappy Creations. Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me and see me okay? That would be great. I'll start with that. And once I get a thumbs up, we will get going. See who is here in the chat in the meantime. Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Terry, we've got the 3 pink hands and Joy T is there. Okay, I'm going to scroll quickly back up through. Thank you, everyone, for letting me know. Hi, Giovanna. All right, so back up in the beginning, Terry came in and waved to everyone because she's so sweet. She's always thinking of everyone else. And she put hi to our scrappy friends. And there was Shireen who gave us some other pink waving hands. And Pat was here. Melanie, she said, see you back when it starts. Denise Belshaw from Northeast Scotland, she said, if you didn't see her Facebook post, you'd have to go read it, but she had an issue with a card. I'm going to give the quick version, and I won't give away too much. I apologize, Denise, but she wasn't happy with the way her postcard turned out for a couple of reasons. She had left a dark fabric behind a lighter fabric and had forgotten to snip it and felt that her stitches around the edges could have been neater. Personally, I understand this. You know, we do these things and we think, oh man, look at that, and I tried so hard. And it's because we put so much effort into things, we want them to be perfect, or at least how we pictured them turning out. But like I said to her, and others said the same thing, other people notice your mistakes, or other people don't notice your mistakes. You notice your mistakes. And I told her, you know, whoever gets that postcard is going to be so happy to receive it. And I can guarantee her that when they get it, they're not going to look at it and go, she didn't clip that piece of dark fabric. Look at that white fabric sitting right on top of that. She didn't clip it. She didn't care enough about me to, oh wait, she made this card for me. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, so she resorted to putting the sewing away and having a piece of chocolate and a glass of wine. So in the chat here, she wrote, hello from Northeast Scotland. Gave the chocolates and wine a miss, Marie, and decided you can cheer me up instead. So I kind of figured she might have been joking, but just in case, you know, I had her back on the chocolate and the wine. Anyway, so she was here an hour early and said she'd be back. And then Terry came in and said, hi all, Marie is going live at 4 p.m. Just an update. So thank you, Terry, for that. Then Emily was here and Barb said, what a nice surprise. Been wondering what's been going on with Marie. And then Giovanna poked her head in saying hello to everyone and to Terry. There was some hellos back and forth between everyone, and there's Moran from Northern Ireland. Good to see you as well. And then there is another one of our wrench holders, Lisa, who said, hello, Scrappy Chatters. Have missed you and our fearless leader, and I have missed all of you so much. Thank you, Lisa. Kelly from Kelly's Quilts and Cruises. If you're not a subscriber, please check out her channel, Kelly's Quilts and Cruises. And she said, happy family day to my Canadian friends from sunny and dry British Columbia. No big dump of snow here, on to spring. Now, I'll tell you in a minute what she's talking about with the snow. So Lisa came in and she brought coffee, tea, and donuts for everyone. All the little emojis, because she's just so thoughtful. Giovanna said she's drinking tea. Joy T said hi, Marie and Chatters. And then, let's see, Kelly, the kids are coming for dinner because it's a state holiday. Vet clinic is closed where my daughter works. Only tap room workers at the brewery today, not my son, the brewer. Let's see. So everyone's saying hello. And then that's it, I think. Am I caught up? Oh no, there was way more. My page just didn't refresh. Oh goodness. Okay, so I'll go down and say hi to everyone, and I apologize if I miss you, but then we'll get on with our chat. All right, so Giovanna said hello, so hello to you. And yes, Kelly, good to see you too. Terry letting me know she could hear me and see me. And Deb Caselli from windy, cold, but sunny Massachusetts, and I apologize if I butchered your last name. Barb saying hello. Janice Cahill, imagine seeing you, Marie, on a Monday. That's a very special surprise. More on that in a minute. And there is Kimberly Kleeman. Hello, hello. And Gladys, the Confident Quilter. Check out her channel. Absolutely. She's saying hello to everyone. Denise saying it's okay. Go ahead. Hi, June Hansen. Oh, Awkward Quilter GA. Hi, Lisa. How you doing? She says lurking. That's fine. You can lurk anywhere you want, anytime. All right. Let's see. Deb Sanderson's from Bledsoe County, Tennessee. Giovanna said, we are our worst critics. And we definitely are. Let's see. Carolyn Sagal saying hello from East Texas. Well, hello from Northern Maine to East Texas. Sylvia Martinez is here. Good to see you. And Denise says, and I am smiling. I'm so glad you are. Lisa brought the goods, says Terry. Yes, she certainly did. Hi, Jill. Hi. She says, OMG, hi, everyone. You know, it's funny because Jill sent me a t-shirt that is so me. It says right here, it says, I choose pins because you guys know me. I don't really use the little clips. I tend to use pins. Well, I just wore the t-shirt yesterday and then decided to do the live stream today, or I would have saved it. Today I'm wearing, my fabric addiction t-shirt, because, you know, we all have the fabric addiction. Kimberly says it's very cold in Montana. I bet it is. Mary G says hello. Let's see, Della Badger, hello to you. Been a while. Good to see you. And Kelly's just letting Denise know that she saw her beautiful postcard on the Facebook page and thought it looked great. Shireen says it's 2,300 hours in South Africa. So I'm going to assume that's 11 p.m. for us. All right. Let's see. Carol says hello. Hello, celebrating birthday. Well, happy birthday, Carol. Yay. Can one of our mods get her some birthday cake emojis and maybe some heart emojis? If I start clicking in there, I tend to lose my screen and I get all discombobulated. Happy birthday, Carol. I'll spare you singing. You wouldn't want me to sing happy birthday to you. And Kelly's gonna go fix herself a cup of tea and she'll be right back. And Lisa's letting Terry know she'd never show up without coffee for her. Hi, Melanie. Good to see you. Every time I see someone with the name Melanie, makes me think. I went to school with 2 Melanies and a Melody, and they were all the sweetest girls. I don't know if it came from the name or just because. I'm sure you're sweet too. All right. Hi. Guess who? Nancy is here. Hi, Norma. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so I think I got through all that, and I have some terrible notes here. I didn't get them transferred. In fact, you guys can laugh at me, but I was going to grab something really simple to work on. I didn't even get that far. I literally put supper in the oven and came upstairs. I was going to say ran upstairs, but no, I didn't run anywhere, okay? So, as I normally do on a Wednesday, I'm going to let you know the temperature here in northern Maine right now is 11 degrees Fahrenheit, but feels like -7 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, we had cold weather last week because I was taking screenshots and it would say 18 below, feels like 22 below, or whatever it was, day after day. I was inside. I wasn't too worried, you know. And then the other day, my husband, he's my weatherman, he always reads the weather forecast and lets me know. He said, we're going to get a snowstorm this weekend. And I said, okay. I mean, we live in northern Maine. We get storms, and we really haven't had much snow this year. He's like, yeah, we're going to get 1 to 2 feet. I'm like, oh, we are not. Would you stop? He goes, we're getting 1 to 2 feet, or at least that's what they say. Hi, Deb asked, the Pug Mama Quilter. Sylvia, I'll get to that question in a minute. She says, what's for supper? I'll get to that in just a minute, because I actually was going to talk about food too. So thank you for bringing that up. Is it Sherry, Cherry, my quilting world? Happy to find you on, Marie. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for dropping in. Giovanna, that's in Fahrenheit. Sorry, it's in Fahrenheit. Usually I give it in Celsius too. Hi, Julie. She says it's 71 in Florida. All right. Yes, and there are some wonderful channels. So Deb has a channel. So many of my subscribers do. So please be sure and check them out. My mods keep dropping links. Thank you, ladies. I forgot. Usually at the beginning, I thank my mods, and I didn't. I apologize. So we have Terry, we have Lisa with an E, we have Lisa Marie, and we have Honor. And they all pop on different times, and they all do different things around here. You know, there's some things that you know each of them do. Like Lisa's known for drum rolls and coffee and donuts, things like that. Terry's like the link keeper. She definitely is. All right. Let's see. Where was I? So, the snow. So then the next day he said, well, they've updated it. From 1 to 2 feet, they updated it to, I think he said, 14 to 20 inches. Well, that's still quite a bit of snow. So I did go around and charge the rechargeable batteries for the flashlights, and I rounded up to see what we had for candles, things like that. So, yeah, got it all out and ready just in case. See, I had mentioned on Wednesday when I couldn't do the live stream, I said, maybe this weekend we'll get together for a live stream. And I had planned to do it yesterday, being Sunday, depending on when you're watching this. So on Sunday, I had planned to do a live stream. But because of the snow, but more so the wind, I was afraid that we would lose the internet or the electricity, or that it would be spotty and go in and out, which would just be a nightmare. So I decided to do it today instead. All right. Sylvia says it warmed up to 35 degrees there in Alaska. There you go. Oh, my goodness. Yes, Giovanna says, that's what I wanted to know. You usually tell us in Celsius as well. Yes, and I'm usually more prepared than I am today. Like I said, I didn't get anything off the envelope I wrote it on, which is a bill that needs to be paid. Figured I'd write my notes on it, then I don't forget to pay it. Hi, Judy Hebert. She says, hi, late but here. We don't mind late. We're just glad you're here. Terry says, oh, Marie, 14 to 20 inches. I hope you have all the goodies already in the house. Oh, yeah. What was it Laverne and Shirley used to say? Pshaw. Okay. So, we were awake. We're always awake. It was about 1:30 this morning, and you know, we're looking out, and it is storming. It had started at about 7-ish, I'm going to say. Oh, no, that was the other storm, started at 7 a.m. I apologize. Anyway, forget what time this started. About 2:30, my husband went out because, you know, you can only look outside so long. You figure you got to go clean some of it out. So he took his tape measure. The reason it's difficult to know how much snow you got is because the wind is drifting. It's blowing it everywhere. So it would depend on if it's got a break from the wind. There's a lot of things that can affect how many inches. You can say, well, we have 6 inches right here, and you can move 3 feet to the right, and it can be over your knees. And so what he did is he went out in the middle of the walkway where there's as much break from the wind as possible. So the best. And it was just under 10 inches of snow. But of course it wasn't done. So I don't know what our total storm was. I think that either the wind moved it or it tracked a little bit differently than what they had thought. We didn't get that much. But I was in here earlier restarting my computer, and my Alexa came on. She's going to learn to spell one of these days. She came on and said that the National Weather Service had issued a winter cold advisory or something like that. So apparently our temperatures are supposed to drop drastically. If you're in a warm climate, it actually has to be fairly warm to snow. Like if it's below 0, you're not going to get snow. You might get a few flurries, but it's too cold to snow. It has to be closer to that freezing point, for us being 30 with the Fahrenheit or 0 on the Celsius scale. I am not a weather woman, and that's about as much as I know. And Kelly is changing it around. She says it's about 7 degrees Celsius here. I think that's 40 or so. I would guess. Yeah, I would guess that would be right. Hey, Honor. Here she is. She says, hey to all. Always good to see our Honor. Terry says, Mr. Scrappy better just stay in and stay safe. I agree. But you know what he does? He always goes out. We always have our walkway and at least one of our 2 parking spots cleaned, because if something happened to me, he wants there to be help. He's so sweet. Oh, Kelly says, dang, my American friends, you got some cold. Except for Florida, I guess. Yes, indeed. And June says it's cold in Iowa. Giovanna says it snows around 0 Celsius. Yeah, absolutely. So, Honor, we're so glad to see you. We are honored with your presence. Kelly says, Marie is absolutely right. Right around the freezing mark allows for snow. Yeah, and it's funny how that works, because when you speak with someone who has never been around snow, they figure when it snows, oh, brr, it's cold. Well, it would be cold to them, but it's actually fairly warm for us. Pastry Queen Farm Adventures says hello again. I just walked away, had to take a call. That's absolutely fine, not a problem. Says it's -4 in Kentucky. Yeah, that's a little chilly. Like I said, with wind chill, we're setting at -7. Okay, so there's so many things. I don't even have to sew, because I'm not gonna. You know what I was gonna sew though? I'll tell you guys. I was going to take some of my scraps. I have a scrap or 2. I was going to take some scraps and then some scraps of just a lightweight interfacing and make some cord keepers, because I have a gazillion. I have a couple of plastic snaps. Now, I have another container that has these in there, but I'm out of all the basic colors, and I'm left with the oddball ones, which I think are great for cord keepers. And a couple months ago, I ordered a new set on Amazon. Won't get into that, but anyway, it's done. Yeah, so I wanted to use that up. And then when I was going to get the scraps out, I saw this, which is my Heat and Bond. I don't know how well you can see it. Non-woven, extra firm. I don't find it to be extra firm for what I would consider extra firm. But I got this at Martin's, and the price was right. I don't remember what it was now, but apparently it was right at the time. You've heard of Mr. Right or Mr. Right Now? This was Mr. Right Now. No, really though, I need to use it. It's 20 inches by 25 yards, and I think I've cut 3 pieces off this for bags because I don't know. It's just not. It's either too much for one project or too thin for another. So I'll have to find a happy medium and use it. But I thought maybe for the cord keepers it would be good. All right, let's see. June says it feels like minus 20 below here and to get worse the next few days. Well, bundle up, June. Bundle up. Yeah. Denise says, wow, that's a lot of bond. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I was going to make cord keepers while we sat here, but now I'm just going to chit chat. So if you guys get tired of me talking, say, hey, we've had enough. All right, and this is going to be in no particular order because they are just notes, okay? I was reading my comments, which I'm really behind on. I was reading my comments last week, and I won't quote it verbatim, but this person, Claudette, said, hey, she lives in the next town over from me. I'm like, what? So I responded to her. It probably took me 2 days to see her comment. But she had said, wouldn't it be great to get together? Yes. And she says, maybe we could even do private tutorials or just get together for a coffee. I would love to get together. You can have a coffee and I'll watch you, but I don't drink coffee. But you know, we could meet at Dunkin' Donuts here in my town. We could, you know, something like that. I think that would be great. I would love to do a meet and greet. So I did reply to your comment. I hope you saw it. And I asked you to please email me. And I gave you my email address, which also is below every one of my videos in the description box. All right. June says I'm staying in. I don't blame you. All right. So, a while back, I had told you guys during a What's Up Wednesday about a little girl, Stephanie Dameron, who was 13 when she went missing and had since turned 14. She is missing. Now, I don't have the link right here to the What's Up Wednesday where I talked about it, but it's of course it's sad, okay? And I'm too emotional to get into the whole thing. But at the time where I told you guys about it, hi Mona, good to see you. At the time I told you guys about this little girl's disappearance, I gave you links to a couple of YouTube channels who kind of do online sleuthing. They had picked up the story, as well as it had just been picked up by the FBI. So I gave you guys a few links in the description box, did all that, and the other day a friend of mine sent me a link. Now, I don't watch mainstream news, okay? So if it's a channel that goes one way or the other, I don't watch it, okay? I have other ways of getting my news. But that aside, it was one of the bigger news channels, and they picked up the story. I was so glad to see it because it's attention on this girl. We don't know if she's alive. I mean, let's be honest, we don't know. So for them to pick it up and give it any kind of attention, whether I can tolerate the person's voice or not, it's a positive thing, and I can only see it as a positive thing. So in case you're interested, I don't have the link right here, but it was on CNN, and Nancy Grace was reporting on it. I was about 5 minutes into the interview that she was doing when I just I wanted to pull my hair out because she got stuck on this one thing of, well, the family didn't have electricity. She's like, well, I assumed that the neighbors had electricity, so why didn't they? There's a pole, there's a this, there's a that. Well, that all sounds great to someone with money, but to run a light pole where there's not a light pole, the electric company doesn't do that for free. They charge you by the foot. So you're going to get charged for the poles, you're going to get charged for the wire, you're going to get charged for the price. And for those of you who watch that, you know that these people were living in a glorified tent. It's a yurt. It's not made for northern Maine winters. So if they're living in that, then I have every understanding of why they didn't have electricity. So there were little things about the interview that I think it's just because she's never lived like that or in an area like that. So she didn't understand. So I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. All right, let's see. Did I miss anything? I don't think. I think some ladies are talking amongst themselves. Yeah, I think so. Mona says it is expensive to have electricity put in. It is. And when you live in the country, like, I mean, where these people live, you've got to pay to have that come up the road, even if it's a quarter mile down the road. Now, I know in the 90s, someone I know was having it put in, and it was like $600 a pole, and that wasn't even the wires. That wasn't anything else. That was just the poles, you know. So I don't know, you know. Terry says, Marie, you can double up on the heat and bond. Yeah, I can, and I would have to because I've got to use this stuff. I don't like to buy stuff and then not use it. Mona says, there's a lot of people that can't afford rent. It's sad. I couldn't afford today's rent. Oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. All right, so I went over the woman who found out she lives in the next town over. I would love to do a meet with you. I told you about the update on the missing little girl. And let's see. If you're here and you're new and you wonder why you can't chat, maybe you just subscribed to me and you can't chat in the live chat. That's because you have to be a subscriber for 5 hours. I just have it set that way because it helps keep down the number of bots or, you know, whatever. You have to be a subscriber for 5 hours to be able to chat in the live chat. Mona asked, was she found? No, she was not. She was not. She's been missing since September. There's quite a few different stories out there and different things being told and in different ways. It's discouraging, you know, discouraging. I'm heading to my long arm now. I hope you all have a great day. Give Marie the thumbs up if you haven't already. My machine makes too much noise to hear the live. Well, we're glad you dropped in and we hope you have a fun time. Thank you so much. We're glad you hung out with us. Oh, there's Doris. Hi, Doris. She says, we're going from one extreme to the other this week. First rain and flooding, now severe windstorm warning Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is back and forth. Terry says, rent is ridiculous and sad. Yes. There's my face itches. I tried a new moisturizing cream, but it's like a hypoallergenic. So it's like the 5th one inside of 2 months. I'm about ready to give up. Okay, so I went over that part. Okay, food. Someone asked me what I was making for supper. I was going to make a baked chicken. I bought a chicken and, you know, I was going to throw it in the oven, you know, with some onion and garlic and the whole shebang and put some baked potatoes in there and cook a vegetable or two when it was ready. I didn't get it done. Like I said, I didn't even get the fabric out to do any sewing. So what I did is I took some chicken thighs, because my husband and I both love this. Now, we've always loved Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. And when my husband was diagnosed with diabetes a little over a year ago, we changed around some things. And one of the things I bought was no sugar added. Now, I realize it's not sugar-free, but it's no sugar added Sweet Baby Ray's. We like it better than the original. So what I do is, from the end of the old bottle, I add a little bit of water to the barbecue sauce, well, half and half, shake it up, pour it over the bottom, place the chicken down on the barbecue sauce, put sliced onions, because we eat onions with everything, sliced onions all over the top of the chicken, cover it with barbecue sauce, cover it with foil, poke holes in the top, throw it in the oven, a few baked potatoes. And the reason I was going to talk about food and had it on my notes was, while I was cooking that, I thought, we're going to really enjoy this. And I was trying to think of things that I wanted to talk to you guys about, because as you guys know, if you've been with me for a while, you never know what we're going to end up talking about. Hopscotch, sure, doesn't matter. We talk about this, that, and the other thing. So I got thinking about comfort foods and how they vary depending on where you live, okay? This morning, my pain was bothering me maybe a little more than what it has been, and I think it's because the storm, I have arthritis, so I thought that's probably it. And when my arthritis was bothering me, I always crave things. Like maybe it's chocolate, or maybe I want a baked potato, which really I do. I've probably mentioned it 5 times now, not that you'd guess. So anyway, so I thought about the barbecue chicken, baked potatoes. I'll probably cook green beans and peas. And I told my husband, I said, you know what else I really, really want? I want lasagna. But you know what else, guys? I really, really want corn chowder. Can't have it all at once. Can't cook it all at once. But whether we're sick or whether we're good, we all have comfort foods that we enjoy, that either make us feel good or give us memories of, mom making it back in the day. So I would love to hear, either here in the chat or on the in the comments section below, if you're watching on the replay, what are some of the comfort foods that you like, that make you feel better? And then the other thing I got thinking about was this. A lot of times we cook something a certain way that 3 states over, or maybe across the border in Canada, they cook it a whole different way. And there's always some of that. Like shepherd's pie. What I call shepherd's pie, I absolutely know for a fact it's not like anything that you would get in Scotland or England. It's absolutely, totally different. It's also different across town, because I have a friend, we've been friends for 30 odd years now, and we got talking about shepherd's pie one time, and she said, I can't make it, I don't have the spice packet. And I said, what? Because the way I make mine, I don't have a spice packet. I'm not using any kind of a mix. I take spices out of my cupboard and I shake them in there. I didn't even know there was such a thing until she said that her mom, who lives in England, mails her, because she'll mail her 3 or 4 times a year, she'll send her candy and all sorts of different things. Well, one of the things she sends her is shepherd's pie mix. But of course, they're using, sheep or I don't know. I've never eaten that kind of meat before. I don't know. Let's see. I got to scroll back up. I want to see what some of the comfort foods are. All right. Dora says I'm in and out here. Depends if I have to drive. Driver for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Well. Love onions too, says Terry. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, Doris, stay safe. Goodness gracious, driving. Pay attention to your driving, not to us. I feel like I'm looking out over my glasses too much. Giovanna says she's back. Terry says, I love lasagna. Mona's not eating dinner. Trying to read everyone's love lasagna, onion dinner. Come to me, Marie. I'll make you lasagna. Giovanna, I would come sit at your table in a heartbeat. I would. Terry says, I made a big pan of eggplant parmesan today to comfort me. Well, my mother would love that. I know many people would. I'm not an eggplant fan, but I bet you make a fantastic one just the same. Honor says, corn chowder, yum. Lasagna, yum. Denise says, my comfort food is chocolate. But then you know already, Denise, you kill me. Oh, and don't forget the comfort drink, a nice French Chablis. I'm not forgetting this, girlfriend. We got it. Mona says, ice cream. And Sylvia, let's see, Pizzole? How do you pronounce that? I don't know, and I don't know what it is. Yummy to that too, Terry, says Honor. And June says mac and cheese and hot dogs. But I have to stop and tell you that I had mac and cheese written down. There's a reason for that. Long about 9:30 this morning. Of course, I've been up since 1, so it's midday to me. I said to my husband, if I made something, are you hungry? And he's like, I don't know, I could eat. What are you going to have? And I said, I want macaroni and cheese. And I whispered it because he's more of a macaroni and tomatoes kind of guy if we're having a snack, with some onions in there and stuff. But I don't always want tomatoes, and I have to want them because if they sit bad on my stomach, I'm done for. Anyway, I thought, I've got everything to make macaroni and cheese. It won't take me that long. So put a couple of tablespoons of butter, a couple tablespoons of flour, whisk it around, cook it, throw some garlic. I was mincing some garlic there. I cut about half an onion, half a yellow onion, and sauteed it. I had almond milk and some half and half for my husband's coffee. I had the cream in there. So I used that, and then I'm like, what do I have for cheese? Which, note to self, check that before you get this far if you're making your own. I had some mozzarella, and I had Velveeta, and I had some sharp cheddar. So I cut everything up, and once the white sauce was bubbling just slightly, I threw that in there. Of course, I used some dry mustard. I make my own seasoning salt. I thought it might need some of that because I don't cook with a lot of salt. But I threw that in there. Pepper, the garlic, onion. Yeah. Anyway, so I let that all simmer while the pasta cooked. And I am here to tell you, I've made it. I couldn't even tell you how many different times I've made that. But of course, it depends on what I have on hand, and everything goes in there because that's just how I cook. That was so good. It was so good and so creamy. It was just so good. So that's all I'm thinking of. Yes, I have supper in the oven. Yes, I have a baked potato and barbecue chicken. Still thinking of that macaroni and cheese down there in the refrigerator. So, as if that isn't enough carbs, one would think, yesterday I was baking a loaf of bread. Now, when I bake bread, I used to do all my own bread, when the kids were younger. I'd knead it myself and everything. But nowadays, I use a bread machine, but only to knead it. I do not ever, ever, ever let it bake in a bread machine because I don't like that hole in the center. But so I had the loaf of bread going in the bread machine yesterday, and my husband says, "You know what I've been kind of wanting?" I said, "What?" And he said, "Biscuits, a pan of biscuits." Now, back when he worked at the sawmill where he worked and the kids were younger, I put on huge meals. And we had a big family, so I made my own pickles and jams and things like that. So let's say we had the chicken that we're having tonight with baked potatoes. I would have put a couple of vegetables on there. There'd have been a plate with sliced cheese. There'd have been probably some bread and butter pickles or dill pickles that I made on the table, some relishes or whatever. And always, always it was either homemade biscuits or homemade rolls every night, okay? So it's not beyond us to want something like that every once in a while, but it's hard because now that the kids are gone, I don't need to make 14 biscuits. We need 4, but to cut everything down, I know there's recipes to do that, but when you're used to just throwing stuff in there and spooning it up and all that. But anyway, I made the best biscuits. It's probably been a couple of years since they turned out that well. They were very flaky and they were very tall. You could differentiate the layers because I actually took the time to freeze the butter and shortening, which I already know turns out better when I do. Anyway, so not only made a loaf of bread yesterday, which turned out beautifully, I made, I think I got 7 biscuits out of that. So some went in the freezer, some went in the cupboard, and we're going to have them tonight warmed up with our chicken. Okay, back to everyone, because June said macaroni and cheese, and that got me started on the tangent, so I'm going to blame June. But she says mac and cheese and hot dogs. Now, that is a good combination. I don't care who you are. That's a great combination. And June is making chicken noodle soup. And Mona says, "So Terry, that's one of my favorites." I believe meaning the ice cream or eggplant parmesan, one or the other, or both. Mona may mean both. We don't know. Doris said she never had a taste for mac and cheese. Hi, Kathleen. Kathleen Kendall is here. She says, "Better late than never." Well, we're glad you're here, and you're never late. Let's see. Ann Morrison, hello to you. And Jan says, "I have a cabbage casserole in the oven, and soon I'll throw some popovers in." Comfort food. Yes. You were ready for that question, weren't you, Jan? Kelly says, "We are having garlic sausage and sauerkraut." Well, there. That is one food I have never eaten in my whole entire life is sauerkraut. All right. I am way behind. Let's see. Beef stew the way my mom used to make it with cabbage on the top, says Giovanna. Denise says shepherd's pie is also good. Add a tin of baked beans and a splash of Worcestershire sauce, or as they say, wash your sister sauce. It's made totally different over here, and it's made totally different in northern Maine, but that's a subject for another day. Honor says her family has a tortilla casserole that is a go-to comfort food. We made it last night. I'm interested in that. That sounds good. Giovanna says mutton. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Guess who? Nancy says pot roast with taters, carrots, celery, and onion, and then biscuits and gravy. You know it. Denise says shepherd is lamb or cottage is beef. Yeah, and that's what they say here. Well, it's a little bit different, but I said I wouldn't get into it because it will start not a war, not with you guys. I'm saying it's It's a source of contention. All right. Hi, Sandra Kay. Good to see you. Kelly says they eat a lot of soup in the winter. Crock pot. I put leftovers in the freezer for the kids. That's a great idea. And a crock pot is a wonderful way to go. I tend to cook too much because for so many years I cooked huge meals. So I have a hard time cooking just a little bit of soup or anything. But, yeah. And Jill says meatloaf and baked potato salad tonight. Baked potato salad. Do you mean you baked the potatoes and then made potato salad with them? I'm going to assume. Mona says, are you still doing What's Up Wednesday? That's coming right up here, so I'll answer that now. This coming Wednesday, I was planning to do the What's Up Wednesday, and I am. But there's a huge, everyone put on their listening ears. For anyone who has been paying attention, I have had a winter like you would not believe. It's been one thing after another. And I have had to cancel the majority of my What's Up Wednesdays. And I've only done one tutorial in the last 3 months. Okay? So, this is neither here nor there. This is not a bad thing coming up. But I had been planning to do What's Up Wednesday at noontime as a regular thing this coming Wednesday. But my mom has an appointment that I need to go to, and it's at 11 o'clock. So even if she got done at noontime, I'm not going to make it home in time for a noontime What's Up Wednesday. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put a time on it right this moment, but I'm going to say that it's going to be Wednesday afternoon, and I will choose the time by Tuesday, and I will let you guys know. I will post it on the Facebook and on the YouTube community tab. Is that what it's called? And I'll let you know. So thank you, Mona, for the question. Let's see. Barb says, any kind of soup with a hearty, crusty bread and butter. You know it. Absolutely. Oh, Giovanna said she is allergic to eggplant. Well, I guess you're not having eggplant parm, are you? Carolyn says, my favorite was fried chicken and mashed potatoes and homemade bread. See, we're all talking the same language. We are. Terry says, my last meal would be any pasta dish. Yep, carb addicted. I understand this, Terry. I totally understand this. And Giovanna says, Denise, you're making me drool. Joy T says, I love soup and have 2 quarts homemade soup in the fridge for dinner. Well, that is awesome. Let's see. Giovanna says, Terry, I can eat the white ones, but not the purple ones. And then, let's see. Terry says, guess not. I have a hard time with my new glasses. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Terry says, I could not stand eggplant when I was younger, like even as an adult, and then something changed. That happens to a lot of us, though. Terry said, let's see, Giovanna, I suspect I am a bit allergic too because I do have a reaction, but I'm eating it anyway. Oh, hi, Della. Della Badger's here. She said same thing here. Okay, trying to keep up. Kelly, Murray, I think I need to make mac and cheese soon. We usually have it with meatloaf because I did that once 15 years ago or so. Lisa says, hi everyone, working and lurking. Had to comment when food was mentioned. And Terry says, I've been making bread on top of the stove in a frying pan. I am often the square peg for sure. You know, Terry, I've always been a huge eater of bread. I mean, couldn't you tell? But also, I love to make bread. And my husband and I, we didn't really buy a Christmas gift. Like, even for ourselves, we didn't really do that. But I've decided what I want. I want a Dutch oven. I want a Dutch oven because I want to make those round, big, crusty loaves of bread. I'm making myself hungry. But that's what I want because I love those loaves of bread. And you don't have to do anything to it. You just put them in there and let them rise. I just love that stuff. All right. Oh, I'm going to have to find out what that cream is. My eyebrows and everything itch. But Terry, I have heard of people doing it on top of the stove. I've never tried it in all my years of baking bread. Mona said she needs pan bread recipe. I guess I'd have to know what you meant by pan bread. Jan says, bye. It was nice chatting and watching comments. Bye, Jan. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Judy said, split pea soup for dinner with biscuits. Now, I've never been a fan, but I know so many people, and I love the smell of split pea soup. Yes, indeed. All right, let's see. Oh, Doris is off. Bye-bye, Doris. Thanks for hanging out with us. And then Jill said, yum, homemade split pea soup. Absolutely. Terry says yes to Dutch oven bread. I understand this. I do. Keep reading comments and going to take a nap. It will be a long night, says Mona. I understand. I've been awake since 1 and I'm like let's see. Terry says, my daughter bakes bread in a clay pan from Pampered Chef in the oven. I understand that too. Yum, yum. Nancy, guess who Nancy says, I love fried cornbread. It looks like pancakes. Well, Mona, you enjoy your nap. Snooze some for all of us, will you? I don't know why you're staying up late. Do you have a live stream or something I don't know about? But either way, thanks for hanging out with us. We're glad you were here. All right. Let me see. While I was away from YouTube, I had my 3-year anniversary on YouTube. Woohoo. I made a big deal out of year 1 and year 2 and then year 3. It was just so much going on. All right. We talked about the food, the bread, the biscuits, the homemade mac and cheese, the comfort food. I need to bake some muffins because like when we get up in the morning, my husband will make a coffee. As you know, I don't drink coffee, but we like to have something. We take our vitamins and things like that when we first wake up. So we like to have a little something to eat, but we're not hungry. So we don't want to buy like those little Debbie's or something like that. I mean, they're full of junk. Let's face it, you know. Oh, Honor says February 6th. Thank you. February 6th is my 3-year anniversary. Of course she'd know that. Thank you. Thank you, Honor. Sylvia says napping is a skill. That's a good one. And Terry says, yay, happy 3 years. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Let me see. So where was I going with this? See, I get sidetracked. Well, you want to speak anniversaries? I'll tell you guys one. You want to know a little secret? Okay, of course you do. My husband and I, our wedding anniversary is in November. Okay? And we were married in 1998. But we met the day after Valentine's Day, so February 15th, 1991. So on the 15th, just this past weekend, we celebrated 34 years since the day we met, which ended up being his cousin, who I was friends with her. Her name was Wanda. She said, I have a cousin and you should meet them. Did you hear the word man there? No, I didn't either. She said, you should meet my cousin because they're going through a divorce too, and I bet you guys would get along great. We did. We have. It's wonderful. But she brought him to my apartment, 1991. She didn't give me any notice. I didn't have a phone before cell phones, but I didn't have even a house phone at the time. I just moved in. My friend, her name was Terry, but not the same Terry in the chat. She had gone out to see her dad, who was in a nursing home, and I'd gone with her. And when we left, it was like springtime, mud, this and that. Her van got stuck. So while she drove, I stood behind and pushed on the van, and the tires splashed mud because there were no mud guards all over me. I was splattered with mud. I just must have looked a fright. And he came to my door, put his hand out, told me his name, and later that day asked me out for that weekend. It was a Friday when we met, and I gave him every excuse. I mean, short of saying I need to wash my hair, I didn't. So anyway, I finally ended with what I knew would work. Because I had 3 kids. I said, sorry, I don't have a babysitter and I don't have the money to pay them. And he said, I have a babysitter, my teenage daughter, and I'll bring her. And he did. And yeah. Anyway, so 34 years. Very, very happy 34 years, might I add. And he makes me laugh every single day. Every single day. You might have noticed a while back when we were talking about snow and when it started and everything that I kind of stopped in the middle of my story. Well, the reason I did that was because a few days ago we got snow, and we were supposed to get, I believe, like 3 to 6 inches or something. So we were sitting there that morning and just chit-chatting, and I said, hey, do you know when it's going to start snowing? And he goes, 7 a.m. It started at 10 minutes to 7. Now, he knew this because he'd read it online, but everything with him, he's such a character. It's just, I don't know how to say he is, but, you know, I'll be having a bad day for whatever reason, and he makes me laugh every single day, you know. So, anyway. All right, let me scroll back up and see. Guess who Nancy says, I found pre-made biscuits. I took out a couple and cooked them in the air fryer. Yeah, I've heard that those are really good, Nancy. I have. Yeah. I have some in my freezer. Oh no, those are rolls. I can't remember why I bought them even. But they're like the dinner rolls. They must have been on sale or something. I bought them, but yeah. Oh, I know what I didn't tell you guys, what I did with tonight's supper. I don't know if it will make any difference, but I sliced the, the onion. I sliced the potato in half and put like onion slices all over and then stuck it back together. I didn't put butter or anything with it. We love onions, so I was just trying to get the onion flavor in there, so we'll see how that works. Thank you everyone for the well wishes. Let's see. Honor says, we are all blessed to have shared time with you. Well, I know that we are for you guys. We're very lucky. Anne says, bran muffins using Bob's Red Mill bran recipe. I've never tried that, but Bob's Red Mill is a premium product. Now, if you don't live where you can get that, oh, goodness. And you know what else I need for my bread making is gluten. used to be able to buy it locally. Can't buy it locally anymore. I ordered it from either Walmart.com or Amazon last year, and when it came, it was expired. I was not happy. But either way, I used to buy Bob's Red Mill gluten, and I would add it to my bread because it makes a higher, fluffier loaf that stays fresher for longer. Yeah. All right. He's a keeper, says Terry. That's what my mom says. And when she says it, she says, he's a keeper, just like Nana, which is her mother, would say. And he is, you know. Thank you, ladies. All right. So, let me see if there was anything else. I know there was other things. Let me see what it is. Oh, odd news. Have I heard anything lately? Not anything as exciting as the lady crushing watermelons with her thighs. That will always be cemented in my brain, along with Terry saying that there was video evidence. All right. Now, we all have these landmark birthdays, okay? You know, I turned 60 this past fall. It wasn't a huge deal to turn 60, but 60 is and of itself. It was kind of like when I turned 50. Oops, I gotta see what. Ann says Amazon sells brand. Nancy says May 20th, 1977, hubby's sister fixed us up on a blind date. She had fixed him up with our friend and she got grounded, so soon to be 48 years later, I'm still blinded in love. I love it, Nancy. That is wonderful. Love it. Love it. Okay, so, you know, we all have these birthdays, and, you know, no matter what we want to do to celebrate our birthday, it's our birthday. We should get to celebrate it how we want to, right? Okay, so if you were turning 104, could you think of ways you'd want to spend your day? I bet you could. You might say, I want to take my teeth out and enjoy an ice cream cone. I don't know. I've never turned 104. But the one thing I can guarantee you, okay, unequivocally, that I would not want to do is get fingerprinted, have my mugshot taken, meet deputies in canine unit, and get locked in a cell because I always wanted to see what jail was like. And no, I'm not kidding you. So a woman in New York, and I don't know when this was, she turned 104 and she had never been to jail. So I guess she figured the time is now. It's today. Not getting any younger here, folks. So yeah, I wrote down she got fingerprinted, had her mugshot taken, was locked in a cell, and then she enjoyed a pink birthday cake. And it's true. You can't make this stuff up. Terry is from New York. She'll be our sleuth. She'll tell me. Speaking of Terry, she says, I had a hard time when I turned 30. I did too. I think that was just like, oof. But she says, after that, I was fine. Yeah, I understand. Nancy says, Terry, me also. 30 was hard. Crystal, Rita says, ha ha ha. Giovanna never wants to be 104. And Terry says, 104. I want to skydive. If I'm going to go, I want to be flying. Let's see. Oh, Denise says, I have a birthday this week. Can you tell my husband I can spend it how I want? He has been making plans without telling me. It's your birthday. You can celebrate if you want to. No, I understand. But happy birthday, Denise. Happy birthday. All right. And Rita says, goodness. I know, Giovanna, that's crazy. I understand. All right. Rita says maybe she was alone and figured that was a way of spending it with other people. You know, I never thought about that. Of course, I was just trying to joke it off too, but maybe she genuinely wanted to know, you know, genuine. I don't think they like made her get in the uniform or anything or searched her or anything. I would hope not. Giovanna said she's always 27. Absolutely. Eternally. We understand this. Denise says, I'm happy to be 104. Sorry. I'm happy to be 104 if I can still sit at my machine and sew. Let's see. Terry says, I had an aunt that lived to be 103. Her secret? She never married, had no kids, and took a shot of whiskey every day. Apparently it worked for her, right? It did. Rita says, I end up forgetting my birthday in June, then remember in July. Hey, you stay younger that way, Rita. It's a good way to go. Lisa says, my great-grandmother always told us she was 16. Okay, so the only other odd news thing that I've heard about since the last time, I'll never get it exactly right because I didn't write down a whole lot of notes and I've already forgotten it. But something about the story did stick out to me. So this guy, I don't understand Bitcoin, let me just say. This guy had a hard drive. I don't know whether it was, you know, like in his phone, his tablet, his computer. I don't know. But somehow, something to do with his wife or ex-wife, whoever it was, threw it out. Okay? So it's gone. And apparently it's worth millions or however much. It's worth a lot. And it's all on that hard drive. So he bought a landfill back in 2013. He bought a landfill so that he can search for this proverbial needle in a haystack. It's 2025. That's 12 years ago. I mean, he hasn't found it yet. You're talking minor in size. And it said Mr. Howell's Endeavor or something. I'm like, Mr. Howell? Like from Gilligan's Island, the millionaire? You can't make this stuff up. But it wasn't Howell, it was Howells. Maybe he howls in complete pain because she threw his hard drive. I don't know. No, but that would be kind of odd. I don't understand Bitcoin. I don't understand how it works. But apparently the proof for the whatever that he had it is on that hard drive that got thrown in the trash and went to the landfill that he now owns and is excavating. And I can't even imagine what the odds would be. He's never going to find that. Let's face it. Well, I shouldn't say never, but, you know. Yeah. All right. Let me see. I know what I started telling you guys is my husband usually likes to have something sweet in the morning. Well, we both do. So recently I started, and I'm trying to think of how I got off track, but that's not hard to do. I started buying frozen fruit, like, because usually I can't find fresh on sale. But I'll buy raspberries or blueberries. Those are the ones we like the most. And I just make muffins. Now, I do a lower sugar content than what the recipe calls for. I kind of adapt, you know, but they're good. And who doesn't like to get up in the morning and open up a muffin and have it be right full of blueberries, or maybe blueberries and raspberries together? I don't know. I've done them strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, and, you know, like, I gotta cut them all up. Terry knows why I'm doing this. chop them all up and throw them in there. I also like to take bran flakes cereal, especially down at the end, it gets all crumbly. Great to make bran muffins, and you can put blueberry or whatever you want in that. Neither one of us really like you know how you can make chocolate chip muffins and stuff. We're not into that. We like the berries, but you know, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to make them. And then what I do is freeze them. Just individually, a muffin in each miniature snack bag, I guess is what they're called. And then they go into a Ziploc bag, a big freezer bag. And I just keep reusing that same bag. And so every night when we put his coffee in the coffee maker, it's a 1 cup brewing thing. It's not one of those ones with the K-cup. It's just a regular coffee maker, 1 cup coffee maker. Anyway, we put the water in there, we put the coffee grounds in there, and we grab 2 muffins out of the freezer. And speaking of, I was supposed to do that yesterday. All right, let me scroll back up and see what I have missed. All right. Pat says, I felt old when my oldest turned 15. I was 35. I think what it is sometimes those are the things that get us, like our kid turning a certain age or our parent or whatever. I think that gets us, you know. I really do. Giovanna says he forgot the password. Oh, is that what it is? The guy with the Bitcoin thing? See, I don't know. I think I more or less read the headline. Terry says, my granddaughter says I'm 60 and her mom, my daughter, is 50, for which she is or which she is not. Terry says, I think she needs a math tutor, but I would rather let her believe what she does. Okay, without saying any names, it reminds me. Now, my youngest was over one time a couple years ago, and it was right after my birthday. So my husband said, are you going to wish your mother a happy birthday? And he's like, yeah, I always forget happy birthday. And I said, his name's not Dave, but I said, Dave, seriously, you don't know when my birthday is? I know when my parents' birthdays are. But, you know, I was razzing them and all that, but it's not a man thing, and I don't think, you know, you can say, oh man, whatever, but I think what it is all of us have things, strengths, weaknesses, you know, things like that, things we pay attention to and things we do not. Now, I could tell you both of my parents' birth dates. I could tell you what town they were born in. I can tell you my grandmother, paternal and maternal, grandmother's maiden names. I can tell you all that. I don't know why that stuff sticks with me, but it does. Couple of weeks ago, of course, I was sitting in the recliner, as I had been when I was not doing What's Up Wednesday and stuff. I was doing a lot of resting. My husband and I got talking about where we were when certain things happened. I said I was a junior in high school when I heard that John Lennon had been shot. John Lennon from the Beatles. I'm sure you guys know that. So for anyone young, he had been killed the night before at like, I don't know, 8 or 9 o'clock or something like that. But unless I had gotten out of bed that morning before school and turned on some news show, which that wasn't going to happen. I was a teenager. I didn't read the newspaper before I went to school, but I was in class and the teacher went to the door because another teacher had knocked at the door. So she excused herself, went to the door, and I remember hearing her gasp, and she said, "Oh my." And she turned around to the class and she said, John Lennon was shot and killed. Wow. You know, wow. I none of us knew what to say. When the Challenger disaster happened. You know, first teacher in space, the whole everything. I remember where I was. I was living in a small apartment in Augusta, Maine, had 2 little kids. I was changing diapers and I was watching this thing because it was history being made. And I was watching it. And I remember the person who was the reporter or whatever, he was saying, I don't know if they're supposed to go to the side like that. Maybe that's like, I don't know how he said it, like a tank falling off that's supposed to fall off. And I had this feeling in my stomach that just did not look right. Just didn't look right. But anyway, back to the whole thing. Sometimes we remember things, they stick with us, and other things don't. And I think it just comes down to how we think about things, how important they are to us at the time, but not everyone has a memory like that. Other things I can't remember. Like when the Challenger disaster happened, I could tell you that it was a week or 2 before my 3rd child was born. I told my husband that. I said it was a week or 2 before Matthew was born, I'm going to say. I looked it up, it was 12 days. Now, how I knew that, I don't know. But that's the sort of thing I remember, things like that, you know. Hi, Quilting On. Let's see. Terry, oh my, that's some story. Let's see. You talking about James Howells? Says Rita, you got it. Terry says she can't adjust to frozen fruit. Now, see, I can eat them in a muffin, but I couldn't eat just, you know, meh. Let's see. Terry says, hey there, Zaza, the inappropriate quilter. Well, good to have you. Thank you so much. I've missed a whole lot while I was chit-chatting. Let's see. I can't adjust. Don't know how to adjust. I read. Can't adjust to frozen fruit. Giovanna, frozen is better than none. Honor, for eating raw, I can't do frozen either, but they're great in a smoothie. Yes, they are. We love smoothies, protein shake smoothies. Well, I do protein shakes with frozen fruit, actually bananas, and then we'll buy bananas, and as soon as they ripen, I slice them up, flash freeze them, and then put them in a bag. Let's see. Denise says, Honor, I put frozen into the porridge when it's cooking. Delicious. Huh. Let's see. I almost clicked someone's comment off there. I guess I better not click over there. Raisins and craisins in oatmeal or cream of wheat. I like craisins, but I don't like raisins. Giovanna says, Pat, I was 36 when I gave birth to my eldest. Quilting On, I always think my mom is 45. I'm 60, but she'll forever be 45 in my mind. That's sweet. Zaza said hello. So hello to you. I'm glad you're here. Did you get the little happy welcome? We're glad you're here. Giovanna says, I know my granny's birthday. It's 5 days before mine. Absolutely. Lisa says, Honor, I also enjoy crispy bacon in my oatmeal. Yay, bacon. Lisa, really? I have never heard of this. Of course, I'm not one to tell anyone what to like if that's your thing. Of course, I'm not huge on bacon. I will eat a BLT or something like that, but I'm not big on breakfast foods overall. Eggs, I really have to want an egg to be able to eat an egg. Let's see. Rita says, wow, time flies. I was a senior in high school when Lennon died. Yeah, so we were a year apart in school, it sounds like, Rita. Hi, Lori. Lori Clark says, hello, Marie. Hi, chatters. Quilting on, that was before the internet, the Challenger disaster. Yes, indeed, it was. Okay. Oh, a jolt in my back. Terry says, I was in grade school when John Kennedy was shot. I still remember the teacher's reaction. Yeah, see, that stuff counts for a lot, doesn't it? It really, really does. Because as a child, we look to the adults in the room or in the area, and we gauge their response as so that we'll know what to do or say. Let's see. Gotta catch up. Julie Brosman says, I was in 4th grade when JFK was shot. I remember it well. Yeah. Honor. Oh, yeah, I haven't tried bacon yet in it, but I will have to try. Okay, let me see. Terry says, it becomes a core memory depending on how it affected you. Absolutely it does. Absolutely. See, you guys, you never know what we're going to be chatting about. Giovanna said, I was in Nigeria in 1988 when the first president of Kenya died, and when they told me, I broke down and cried in front of my client that I was selling an encyclopedia to. Yeah, that's the thing, Giovanna. Of course, if we're in public, we have no way to hold back our reaction either. Let's see. Rita says, you ever tried slicing a banana and then putting toothpicks in them? After frozen, dip them in chocolate. I have never tried that. I have heard of it, but I've never tried it. I should. You know what I tried the other night? Now, I was a kid raised with my mom working. We would cook meals on our own, or when we were young enough and we couldn't use the stove, we would eat a bowl of cereal, or maybe we were old enough to be allowed to use the toaster or whatever. But I always loved peanut butter and jelly, or peanut butter and fluff, which, if you don't know what fluff is, it's called marshmallow cream, but here in New England it's called fluff, and it's just white marshmallow. Let's face it, it's sugar, okay? It's white sugar. I've always liked Ritz crackers, and the other night I wanted a snack. I just wanted a little bit of something before I went to bed. So I went to the cupboard, grabbed the peanut butter and the fluff, and I was going to make a half a sandwich, and I thought, I wonder how that would be on Ritz crackers. And I've tried a lot of combinations in my lifetime, but I don't ever remember trying that before. Now, have I done it on graham cracker? Yes, 10 out of 10. Would definitely recommend. But on a Ritz cracker, I put peanut butter on one, fluff on the other, put them together, and I am here to tell you that was a great little snack. I'm so glad I didn't opt for the pepperoni and cheese like I had first thought of. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, Lori Clark, I apologize if I didn't see, or did I already say? Anyway, if I didn't read it off, she said, hello, Marie, and hello, chatters. And then that's where Quiltanon said that was before the internet, the Challenger disaster. Yes, it was the mid-'80s. Let's see. Okay, and then we went down to the bacon. Honor saying she had to try it. Let's see. Nigerian president. Hi, Gammy Rose. She says, hi, everyone, just coming in. Well, we're glad you're here. I know I am. Terry, I have to find a good smoothie recipe. Well, I guess it would depend on what you're looking for. We make protein shakes because I am very low on protein. If you're interested in what I do, let me know and I'll write it down. It's a lot of things with me are not measured. It's I'll put this in, I'll put this in. I can tell you what I do, but it's not like a fruit or vegetable smoothie like you may be looking at. Nancy says 9/11, I was in college at 40 years old. We were just talking about that too because our granddaughter was under a year old and when 9/11 happened. So, yeah. Okay. Carolyn says, I was 16 when JFK was shot. I remember my teacher coming to class after lunch. He'd been in tears and told us all what had happened. Yeah. Yep. Denise said, it's getting late here in Scotland, so I'm going to say good night. The electric blanket is warm and I have an early start. So good night, the chat. Well, good night to you, Denise. It's been a great day. You know, I love your stance with the chocolate and the wine. I'm glad that not only me, but the other people were able to chit-chat with you about those. Those are gorgeous. You do a wonderful job on those. Oh, and to those of you, I do have 2 emails in my inbox of people wanting to join the Facebook group. I have not forgotten about you. I have really been trying to play catch up on everything and I was so inundated. So I am getting there. I am trying to get there. But good night to you, Denise. So let's see. She says, oh, Zaza says, Nancy, I remember I was in the middle of getting my hair cut in my kitchen a few weeks before my daughter was born. My son was watching cartoons when they cut in with the news. We watched in horror. Well, there. Watching in horror. It's just awful, you know, and the things we remember. Terry, my mom bought fluff just for me. Terry's allergic to bananas. I apologize. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see, adding powdered milk to things is a good way to up the protein. Absolutely. Zaza says, I love marshmallow fluff. I do too. I do. We eat fluff and peanut butter on Ritz crackers all the time, says Julie. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I have always had all 3 of those things around me, and why I didn't try it before, I don't know. But if anyone likes graham crackers and they like peanut butter and fluff, those are really good. Terry says, Marie, you look tired. You have been up for too many hours. I have. I am exhausted. So, and I can smell the barbecue sauce chicken downstairs. And we've been going an hour and a half. And you lovely people. So you've listened to me chit chat. And I just want to say I have missed you guys. And so remember, this coming Wednesday, we are going to have a live stream. It's just not going to be at the regular time. Okay? So we're going to play it by ear. I've really had a lot going on, and I appreciate that you guys haven't, been questioning me up and down and everything. I mean, I'm still here. Everything's great. Last week was appointments. I couldn't do anything about them. Most times when we schedule appointments, we say, yeah, any day but Wednesday. But sometimes you can't get away from it. Anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out. You guys are the best group of people. We have had a wonderful time. I'm not giving any fancy words, anything like that. Please leave me a like, leave me a comment. Fully 72% of the people who watch my channel are not subscribers. So although I haven't been putting out a lot of content lately, I would appreciate it if you're not already subscribed, if you would do so. Thank you to my moderators for helping keep this engine rolling, and thanks to each and every one of you for hanging out here today. As always, it's been wonderful. Thank you for sharing your favorite foods and poking me because I'm getting tired. I know I am. I send my love to you all. You guys are the greatest group of people always. And I will see you on Wednesday. I'm just not sure what time, but it will be in the afternoon. I'm going to say 2 or after, somewhere in and around there, but I will announce it. So take care, each and every one of you. Hey, Valerie, just take care. See you Wednesday. Yes, and remember, guys, be kind out there. The world needs more of that. I promise not to make fun of people who turn 104 and want to go to jail. No, be kind out there. The world needs more of that. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care.